All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Spotlight Thursday session for the GAND Nutrition Month. And so our first guest is Mr. Wise Letsa. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher your middle name, so we will go with that. So I'll do a brief introduction of you to the rest of our members, and then we can dive deep a little. All right. So I believe Mr. Letsa is the founder of Let's Consult, where he leads a team of specialists in medical nutrition. He is the deputy chief dietitian at the Trust Hospitals Company Limited, and he's a passionate dietitian who does not restrict his work to just the confines of the hospital. He offers dietary advice to the general public through weekly publications in one of Ghana's newspapers, through interviews and talks on television and radio discussions as well. And he gives various talks to various groups, including churches and corporate organizations. And Mr. Letsa is also the author of a number of books. Number one being Be Your Own Dietitian. Number two, Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases, and Live Long by Eating Well. He holds a Master of Science degree in Dietetics and a Bachelor of Science degree in Nutrition and Food Science, both from the University of Ghana. So, Mr. Letsa, welcome once again. We're happy to have you. I hope you're well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm also happy to be here.
Great.
Yeah, next time you just have to say Chukwudi and I'll be fine.
Chukwudi, okay. That was my guess, but I was like, I don't want trouble. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll hand over the platform to you. I'll just be intermittently asking you a few questions. So the first one is, can you share with us a bit about your personal life and your background? I think I've done a quick summary, but you can let us know what's
okay. Okay, thank you. So I'll just briefly start from what you did not say. I'm a married man, and I have two children, and also a very strong lover of family. So apart from my wife and my children, I contribute so much to the larger Letsa family. We hail from Klepa in the Volta region. So when there are family meetings, when there are funerals, when there are weddings and all that, you see me organizing the rest of the youth in the family as well. You put it right. I love dietetics. Everything I do is diet. And many years ago, I just set out to practice diet, and that's what I've been doing. You mentioned I work at Trust Hospital. I've been there since September 2010, and I've risen through the ranks. I used to be a one-member team, but we are such a huge team now. And I also work for Let's Consult, which I founded. We are into dietetic services in general. Let's Consult publishes our books and also provides dietetic service in different shapes and colors: consultations, home service, nutrition programs for workplaces, for corporate organizations and all that, and consultancy services for people who require them. So I am one of those people that when Monday approaches, I'm happy that Monday is coming because we'll go to work. I know this is unlike what it is in the world. When Monday approaches, people are not happy. They want an extension to the weekend, but I always want my weekend to come quickly, to pass by quickly so that I go to work. So I love work. Those who are close to me will testify to this fact. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to say about myself.
Okay, so I guess that's just a follow-up to what you've talked about. So you shared that you're a big family man and all of that. So I guess we would like to know, how has that influenced your career as a dietitian?
Yeah, I'll start from the support that I've enjoyed from my family. my immediate family, especially my mother. You know, around the time that we started practicing, our profession wasn't this popular. And so even if you told somebody that you're a dietitian, you have to explain what that meant. And it's not that the dietitians that were around were so rich or were driving big cars, were so affluent, so that somebody will say that, oh, this is a profession that when I enter, I'm going to make it big and stuff like that. So we needed a lot of motivation. And I would say that my family has been there for me. They supported everything that I did and every idea that I brought up. They would travel all the way from Volta and attend my book launch events in Accra and all that. I remember that I organized a seminar in 2009. That was my first nutrition seminar. We advertised it on radio and in Ho, and people attended. My mother was there, and she learned about food portions, the tennis ball size, and all the models that we use that I put on my slides and educated the people. When she went back home, she started measuring my father's food. And till date, she's been a strong implementer of the things that she hears me say on radio, on TV, and all that. And they will call me, oh, that we are seeing you, we have heard you, and all that. That is one thing that family, being involved with family, has helped me to do. There were people in our family who also supported me, even financially, when I started doing business way back. And so being close to family has been very, very beneficial on many fronts in my quest to excel in this field of nutrition and dietetics in Ghana. And you see, for family to accept and implement what you say, and then for it to work on them, it's a good way to market yourself. So when any of those, my family members, took my books to maybe their church groups or to their office and all that, it was a major boost because I realized I wasn't into it alone. I had people to please somehow, and people who really mattered to me to do something to please. And so it's really been my involvement with family has rather affected me positively rather than negatively. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that growing up or at the time that you were entering this career, it wasn't something that was like very popular. You always had to explain. So kind of like we would like to know what motivated you to continue down this path? Like, was there a specific event or experience that occurred that's kind of sparked your interest to become a dietitian?
Yeah, so I would say that I became a dietitian by accident. And when I'm enjoying it today, I think that I always say that that was a good accident. The point is that we went to Legon, University of Ghana, as biological science students, wanting to become medical doctors. And we went through level 100, level 200. We studied in the night. I remember level 200 when I was residing in Commonwealth Hall. We hardly slept. We could sleep sometimes 1 hour in the night or just 30 minutes and get up and go for group studies and all that, all in a bid to try and make medical school. Yeah, the day came, we were shortlisted, we were called for interview, and then we were bounced at the end of the day. So the next option was we had to continue our education, and nutrition and food science offered us that platform. We were confused boys and girls in level 300. We didn't know what really we were about because it was either medicine or suicide. But the medicine eluded us. We couldn't also commit the suicide. We had to continue schooling. So we went to nutrition department reluctantly, quite reluctantly. There was no option. We had to go to level 300, 400 and graduate. So that's all we did. But just in the first semester, I had certain encounters with some of the lecturers, some of the young lecturers at the time. Mr. Afuakwa then, now Prof. Afuakwa of AUCC. Last time I met him on a flight, we were all traveling somewhere, and we were having a chat, and now we are speaking as colleagues, and I was so happy about the kind of conversations that we had. Now, he in particular, the way he spoke about nutrition and food science at the time, he is a food scientist, so he got my interest. I was like, no, this is a program that I rather wake up and study well. So that was when I actually developed the interest. Beyond that, it was merely about making sure that I practice nutrition at the unit level. At the unit level, as in, I wanted a platform whereby I can teach people how to eat well. So I remember when we checked in to do masters in dietetics on our first, Papa is in a meeting. Okay, so on our first encounter with Prof. Analate, she asked everybody why they wanted to study dietetics. I remember very well what I told her. I said I wanted an opportunity to practice nutrition because after the first degree, we knew about BMI, we knew about diet and diseases, but as to how to really translate that into therapies for people to prevent and manage diseases, we didn't know all that, right? So I thought that, okay, doing a postgraduate in dietetics will give me that specialist touch and ability to be able to practice. Mind you, when you study nutrition, be it at the first degree level or master's level, people will come to you with their nutritional problems. You will always be asked whether groundnut is good, whether avocado is powerful, whether luguntubi can cure cancer and all that. All these kind of things will be coming to you. So I just wanted a platform to affect lives. And that's my greatest motivation. Now, what makes me wake up and I'm happy to go to work every day is the kind of results I see in my patients. From way back 13 years ago when let me say 14 years ago when I finished school, and 13 years ago when I was doing my internship at Rich Hospital, and to 13 years ago when I started work at Trust Hospital. It is the results. So when patients come and see you, they come back with FBS, which is good, or better. They come back with lipid profile, which is better, liver function test, which is better, VUA creatinines, which are okay or getting better and all that. That is also the one drive. That's what gives me the drive to actually continue in this profession. I think you are muted still.
Oh yeah, sorry. I can say quite a number of us can relate to being disappointed medical students. That is a similar story for quite a few of us.
Yeah, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this story before you continue.
Sure, go ahead.
I remember, before medical school, I mean, we really had to be very religious. I'm also a very religious person. But at that time, the level of religiosity, if there's any word like that, was highest. Now, we prayed and fasted and all that. We had dreams and we had signs that we were in medical school and all that. One of the things I saw was that I was in a white coat and I was working in a hospital. So to me, that was clearly a sign that I was already a doctor, right? So when the shock came, I was like, God, why? You showed me the sign. But then when I look at and match that dream or vision with the kind of results I've gotten as a dietitian, I think God spoke right. He didn't make a mistake, just that we interpreted it wrongly at the time, right? Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I think this is something that should encourage each and every one of us, because we all do hit roadblocks. There were times that we weren't really sure what we were doing, but something that you said that resonated with me, the fact that you're helping people. And that was something that when I as a level 300 student ended up picking nutrition and food science, because of course I was also a disappointed medical student. I realized that I didn't need to be a doctor to be able to help people. And that's exactly the same message I'm hearing from you, that you are still making a difference in people's lives. People come and their FBS levels have improved. their liver function has improved and all of that. And that's still helping somebody, even still in the medical line. All right. So I would say, well, I feel like you kind of answered this question, but I'll just ask it again. What is the most rewarding aspect of being a dietitian or nutritionist? What's the most rewarding aspect right now?
For me, it is that knowledge that in a team of health professionals, in a team of medical professionals or medical teams, everybody looks up to you to provide the nutritional solution to problems. That to me is very, very rewarding. Let me speak about Trust Hospital. Let's consult. Of course, I lead a team, so I'm the CEO, but I don't want to call it CEO. I call it team leader. Everybody looks up to you in a different way. They receive their salaries and all that, so they look up to you. They put you in high repute, right? But then at Trust Hospital, for example, the name Letsa became a household name because of nutrition. When I came as a young master's graduate in 2010, at the age of 28, I had a lot of energy and fire, and I didn't hesitate to bring it out. So when we meet at general ward rounds, I would speak, I would ask questions, and I will explain. So it got to a time the physician specialists will be like, a lecture, yes, but don't give us a lecture today. Those kind of things, right? So it got to a time that anything diet and nutrition, they look up to you. That to me was what made it. That's what I enjoy the most, right? So it gives me that energy and ability to think, to learn, and to do everything possible not to disappoint people because of the trust reposed in me, right? So I'll go to the ward, see a case, then go back and learn, and then attend to the case. I don't want to make any mistake, right? I'll be able to chew certain figures. How much potassium does the body need? How much sodium does the body need? What should this thing be? What is the protein requirement? All these things, I make sure that they are on my fingertips so that when I'm asked, I don't disappoint the people who think that I can give them the right answers. So that is it. The other side is that the moment I knew that dietetics nutrition can be rewarding financially, that's also, so I'm ranking them, right? The first one is what I told you. And next to that is knowing that whatever profession I have is a cash cow. Can make a lot of money being a dietitian, especially in Ghana, right? So that's one of the things that drives me. You should come and see the kind of projects that I handle, the kind of works I do. Sometimes you are working in the night and all that because it is rewarding financially as well. You're able to take care of your family. You're able to contribute at church. You're able to contribute to the larger family financially as well and all that. Also, take care of yourself very well. That's it. So number one, people depending on you. Number two, it being financially rewarding, and people who encounter me in line of work, either as students, as interns, or as work colleagues, will tell you that I always push them to try and make money from our profession.
Thank you for that. Can you share maybe one memorable experience where you have seen a change in someone's life, a positive change in someone's life because they worked with you?
Oh, okay. I thought you're asking about patients who have done better.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, you can,
okay.
If there's a specific example that comes to mind immediately, you can share that.
Of course. So let me start with the kind of people and jobs that I've been able to create by the grace of God. I mean, I lead a great team at Let's Consult. We do diet business and people earn salary and not little money. And that is something that I'm happy about. I've seen people come in with nothing and now they can take care of their families and all that because of me being able to think through project proposals and win contracts and all that and call them, oh, let's go and do this work and all that. So that's, I have many people who have earned from few coins to thousands, right? My aim is to be the largest private employer of dietitians in this country, and God being my helper, I'll achieve it, right? So that is on that side. People are able to earn every month because of Let's Consult, and I thank God for that. And patients, yes, a lot of patients who are no more on their diabetic medications because they have followed my strict rules. Because me, when I take recommendations, I tighten them and make them stricter in my therapies, right? I don't negotiate on a lot of things. And I always tell people that, yes, my clinic still has numbers because of the kind of stance I take on certain things. So that's it. And a lot of people have studied dietetics because I've had calls, parents asking me, my daughter, my son wants to do dietetics because they see you on TV, because we've read your articles in the newspapers, and I would never discourage you. There were occasions that I told parents that let your daughter or son study dietetics. From the projections I am making, by the time they finish school, I'll find jobs for them. If I don't get them employed in any hospital or clinic, Let's Consult will find jobs for them, right? And they went to school, and at the end of the period, as if I was a prophet, yes, I've been able to find jobs for them, right? And that is it. Because I never fear that somebody will be better than me. No, I know that God made me in his image. God made you, Claudia, in his image. God made everybody else on this call in his image. So we are all different. We have different DNA. We have different fingerprints and all that. Our brains work differently, right? So if you come to me, I'll teach you what I know. I always tell people that add what you know to it so that you become better than me, right? So that's just one of the things. So just encouraging somebody who doesn't really see the future of dietetics, and today knowing that the person is still practicing or has been practicing dietetics for some time now, it's even rewarding in itself. And people who look up to you, to me, I'd never want to disappoint them. And they are still in their profession. Some of your leaders, we train them and they are leading. And I I always have goosebumps when I remember when we met them at the beginning before they went to school and all that. So there's a lot to look up to. Even though I see myself as a small boy, I know that I've affected a lot of lives. By the time I'll grow up, I'll affect the whole nation. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I see a comment here from Nana who is saying, I'm happy we are shining the spotlight on Mr. Letsa today. He gave me the certainty I needed to pursue this profession when I met him in 2011, 2012. So we can definitely attest to the encouragements and supports that you have provided over the years. And so now I have another question. You mentioned that you have also supported people like in terms of writing proposals and that kind of thing. So when we shift, let's shift a little to like research and development. How do you stay up to date with the latest research and development in the field of nutrition? Because you know nutrition is still quite a young science and it's always constantly evolving, from egg being called an evil food to now being known as a superfood, those kind of things. Yeah. So how do you stay up to date?
Yeah, so I always knew that schooling never ends. Like nobody finishes schooling. Of course, we've been doing CPDs for when I was GDA president, vice president to acting president to president, way back 2012, thereabout 2012, 2013, we initiated CPD. So that's one of the means. Always make sure that I participated, we paid and participated always. And when that became very, very important, also because we needed it to renew our pins. So that is one of the avenues. But then I've done a lot of courses. I've done courses that are not even dietetics, just leadership and innovation. I've done transformational leadership. I've done conflict, a lot of things, just to be able to continue doing what I do. But then I'm subscribed to journals, subscribed to a lot of learning platforms. The emails, I'm not even able to read all of them, right? And so always trying to also engage my team, because you see, knowledge, our elders say knowledge is like a baobab tree. In Ebe, we say nunya adidoe asime tunel. Just to say that knowledge is such a huge thing that nobody can actually wrap their two hands around knowledge and then be able to hold knowledge in their hands. Is so big. What is in the mind of even the person who left school today or completed school today might be more transformational than what I have in my mind. So I always operate with an open mind when younger people come, they join our team, either as interns, students. I always find out what are you people being taught these days and all that. But then, you know, new knowledge is published in journals, in articles and all that. I always read, I always learn. You see me spending 4 hours, 5 hours on my phone every day. It's not all Facebook and WhatsApp. It is also learning, right? And I give my team opportunity to develop content together. People bring their ideas. Younger people also do presentations and all that. When I have the big programs that you see me on, Joy FM and all that, when I'm going, there's a team that does research and gives me articles that I should read and all that to stay abreast and all that. And I want to say a big thank you to all these guys. At the appropriate time, I'll mention some names. And so not everything that you see and receive from me is coming from this, my big head alone. No, people support me, people help me a lot, and a lot of the time for free. And just so that I can shine and come out the way I'm coming out. I also like to take feedback, a lot of feedback. That has helped us in developing and transforming my book project, for example. You know, when you're going to do something like a book, a lot of thoughts go through your mind. There are people who are your seniors in the profession, people who taught you in school and who are professors and all that. I mean, the holders of knowledge proper are there. And you have just started practicing this thing and you say, okay, you are making a book. I started my books in 2011. That was just a year after being fully employed. So 2 years after 2 years experience, and I started doing books. Now, what do you know? That's what people will ask you. So it took a lot of boldness to do some of those things, because you know that somebody can easily, how do you call it? Sweep whatever you have done under the carpet and say that, oh, this guy doesn't know anything. But then I ended up receiving encouragement from such people, and then advice. Okay, if you do it this way, this will be better. If you add this, this will be better. And we take that. I mean, feedback comes both positive and negative. We throw the negative away and work with the positive. We want to stay afloat. We want to keep moving. So I don't usually work with anything that will draw me back. And I don't stay in companies that will discourage me. No, I don't do friends stuff that will discourage me. If I have call somebody a friend, the person is rather adding to my life. Or I am adding to the person's life. That also motivates me, right? Will motivate you, right? So those are some of the things. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think you've given some advice, but I'll just make you just list a few. So the next question was about what advice or message you would have for aspiring dietitians who are considering a career in this field. So you've said a few, but I would like you to repeat.
Yeah, so thank you, Claudia. The advice to the younger generation is that you should have a goal and work towards that goal. They say a rolling stone gathers no moss. I don't know whether you have heard that before. These days, we don't speak in proverbs and stuff like that. Our parents used to really speak to us in proverbs and wise sayings. Now, if you look at it critically, not everybody can be a lecturer. Not everybody can be a professor. Not everybody can do a PhD or should do a PhD, but some people have to do PhDs. Some people have to lecture. Some people have to be in research institutions. The industry is huge. So you must be able to carve a niche for yourself, know what you want, set a goal and work towards it. You don't set a goal and after 2 years, you say, I'm shifting my goalpost. If I want to tell you the push or factors, like when are you going to do your PhD? Why are you still in Ghana? When are you joining me in this country? And all that. I have colleagues who live outside the country. They are doing well for themselves and all that, right? They wish that I will also be like them, but I knew what I wanted to be. I always know what I want to do, and I stick to that, right? So in this our profession, you can actually find a niche. There's so much that I want to do and I've not been able to start yet. There's so much. Sometimes you can just take a car or drive to Trust Hospital. Look for me. Let's talk. I can give you an idea. One of the things that I want to do that I've not been able to start. Go and start it. You will blow. You will make it, right? There's so much that can be done in the field of nutrition and dietetics. We have not harnessed our potential yet. And if you come out of school, you can actually get some of these things done and become big. In 10 years' time, the spotlight will be on you, right? You'll be bigger than what you are seeing that I have become. Because let me tell you, I've not done 1/10 of the things that I wish I'd even done by now, right? So set a goal and work towards it. Please don't set a goal and be tending to see what somebody else is doing. No. Even Bible says that you don't put your hand to the plow and look back, right? So that, to me, that has been the hallmark. I wanted to be able to employ dietitians, and I kept working towards that year on year until I'm able to employ dietitians, right? I wanted to achieve certain things in my practice at the hospital. We kept working towards that. Sometimes you have to wait for months, for years, for management to approve certain things for you. But then when they finally approve, they will tell themselves that, oh, we wish we had listened to you long ago, right? So, and also be a good person. Be a good person, be kind. You see, heaven will help you if you help God's creation. So, and I know that, yes, people buy my books a lot. If I want to tell you the volumes we print in a year, you'll be amazed. And we are called for businesses and work and all these things, a lot of it. I've been able to create jobs for a lot of people. Now, it is all by the grace of God. And I think that's because I also have a kind heart. God is also rewarding me in many ways. So be kind, be kind. You know, when you are driving on the roads in Accra, especially, the kind of vehicles that allow you to pass or allow you to overtake them, to cross before them, a lot of the time they are the posh cars, the Benz and the big 4x4s and all that. They are the ones that are not wicked. But somebody in some Alacha taxi and all that, they will never allow you even take a rightful turn. They want to go before you. They are so wicked. I realize that poor people are always very, very wicked. It's a poverty mentality, right? So if you want to be rich in your profession, I'm not talking about monetary terms alone, but in terms of experience and impact, please be kind, right? Thank you.
that last statement reminded me of the Bible story. The Bible story where the king had loaned one of his servants some money and he couldn't pay the king back. And so the king said, "Oh, I've forgiven you." And then the servant turned around and went to fight with his friend that, "Hey, where's my money?" And I was like, that's exactly it. If someone has been kind to you, you should pay it forward. Exactly. All right. So as a member of GAND, the Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, what are your thoughts on the importance of professional associations in promoting excellence and collaboration within the field of dietetics?
Yeah, the association is the voice of the people. And so it's so important. My voice cannot reach as loud as GAND can. The kind of influence that we need to be able to push people, to gain employment for people, to change the course of training, and be able to train specialists and all that. Individual voices cannot. We can have individual accomplishments, but then we need associations to move to the next level. Right. So it's so important that we have a platform such as GAND. I am very well accomplished in the field of nutrition and dietetics in Ghana, especially. But then I am almost always among the first people to associate when it comes to the GAND and or even GDA time to now. I never say that, oh, I've been able to achieve all this on my own, so I don't need associations. No, we need to associate. I mean, gathering together, even Bible says that we should never forsake the assembly of the brethren in Hebrews 10:25. So it is so important once the good book supports it. And physically, we know that we need a stronger voice. The one thing that I've not been able to do with all the opportunities I have in terms of the media space and all that is to be mentioning GAND. That I know, and I apologize to GAND especially. I know that we can have a leveraging effect with the kind of kindness that I experience from people who call me to their platforms, their programs. I don't look for opportunity to be on air. I don't apply for it. I get invited. So right from day one, 2011, when I had my first appearance on TV till date, I never carry myself looking for TV appearance or radio appearance. It's either people read something I've written and they want a voice in addition to it, or they want me to come and contribute, and I gladly do. And these appearances, they don't give you direct cash, but they give you free marketing. So I cannot pay Joy FM to mention my books on the drive time or on Otedia's program. But then when I appear there as a guest, I go there in my book t-shirts and I carry my books and I speak about it and I market it and I share my Momo number. And then I get calls. You get the point. I get people going to the sales point. You get the point. So we need the association, even though we can do well as individuals, but we need the association. You know, we are still at the stage where people are not really seeing the effect of the association, but mind you, we'll get there. Sooner than later, we'll get there, where membership of GAND especially will be such a priceless tool that we are not probably even seeing now, but then it is something that will really help. I've had the opportunity to see how associations help in countries, in other countries, and I've benefited from the effect of certain national associations and all that, and I know what I'm talking about. So we'll surely get there. We need these kind of platforms. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So how do you envision the future of nutrition and dietetics in Ghana? Like, do you feel like there are some particular areas or issues that should be addressed or focused on? Because I know you made a statement a little earlier talking about how a lot of people some of your colleagues who have left the country and are doing things elsewhere, and they are always trying to encourage you or pull you to come, but you are like, you know what you're doing in Ghana, you know why you are still here. So can you share with us like how you envision the future of nutrition and dietetics?
Yeah, I only see big things. I never see it being any smaller. If today, I, for example, through my organization, we just receive calls. I mean, then we are seeing attending to patients here and there. 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. And even at the hospital that I practice, the kind of budgetary allocation and all that, respect and everything that they give to our office, 10 years ago, it wasn't like that, right? The kind of impact and expectation, the number of patients that we see and all that, it keeps increasing. And the way the world is going now, lifestyle diseases are ruling the world, and it's not going to get any better. So when you read projections that are made by WHO and all that, in terms of the number of diabetics in the future, 2040, the number of cardiovascular events in 2040, 2035, this and all that, you realize that it is a negative image in terms of the fact that the conditions are getting worse. And who are the people who repair that worse situation? It is people like you and me and all of us on the call, with the nutrition professionals. So I remember many years ago when I started Let's Consult, I had a little office in Ho. And my dad is, if you can even see him, there's an old man's head behind me here. He made a statement to me. I know he has forgotten, but he said that very soon people will come, will walk to the hospital to see you, meaning not me singular, but you dietitians. People will walk in just to seek help from you, just like they walk in when they are sick to see their doctors. And we see that, I see that happening every day, because a lot of the patients that we see, they are not referred. They walk in, they themselves want to see dietitians, right? So in terms of jobs being available, in terms of opportunities being available, it is going to get bigger. Forget about artificial intelligence. See, well, let me put it differently before you misunderstand me. Don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. Your skills are still so vital. They will be necessary, right? So you rather let the machines and AI and all that challenge you to be better, right? You should always find a way around things. You see, sometimes certain opportunities don't come to us because when they come, we cannot handle them. So how prepared are you? You want a job, you want contracts, you want to be able to do things for companies and all that. The question is, when they give you that contract, are you going to be able to handle it? Forget about the skill set alone. What about the mindset? Are you somebody who can develop solutions? Can you, okay, you know about diet, you know about the nutrition care process. What if you go in there and that cannot work? Will you walk away? You get the point. So you should be ready, position yourself, train, learn on the job, learn from your seniors, learn from your juniors, learn from the situations around you, and be prepared for the opportunities that you are looking for. And I want to say again that for the future, opportunities will be plenty. They'll be looking for people to do nutrition stuff, and they will not be finding. So make sure you are found.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So can you share a little bit about any ongoing projects or initiatives that you are part of or are involved in that aim to promote nutrition education or raise awareness about healthy eating habits? I know you currently do a newspaper article, right? And then you're usually on TV and on radios, but are there any upcoming or ongoing specific initiatives that you're involved in as well?
Okay, so the newspaper for some time now I've not been doing. That's the column in the Mirror, because I just don't get the time to write anymore. I want to throw the challenge to anybody on the platform who can come up with very good articles. But I'll use my influence there to get them published so that we can maintain that column for GAND or the Nutrition Fraternity. So anyone who has some articles, you can send them. I'll find time and look at them, and then also convince these guys to take you on. I never wanted to lose that opportunity, but it's just because of the blessings and the grace of God. That's why I'm not able to do it. I won't say it's because of anything negative, right? So I'm not able to do that. But then the opportunities that we get to work are great opportunities to give out nutrition education. So the companies that we work with, we are able to affect people's lunch at the workplace. And then churches that we are able to go to do talks. Some communities that engage our services sometimes to talk to them. We get engaged by whole communities, the whole town during their festivals to come and educate everybody, because maybe the chief has passed through the clinic, or the chief or somebody significant in the community has benefited from nutrition therapy, and they want everybody under them to benefit, right? So all those are good opportunities. And we've been able to infiltrate certain areas that you will not think about ordinarily as a nutritionist or a dietitian. Cancer programs, we are there. And a lot of other things, even malaria and all those kind of things. We find ourselves there doing nutrition things and all that, right? So there's so much that you are doing. But then, like I told you, I don't take myself to radio stations asking for opportunity to talk, or TV. When the opportunity comes, then I make very good use of them, right? So Monday night, I was on the drive time with Lexis Bill. I was invited, and I made sure that the right impact, the feedback I got was good. So those are the opportunities. And then the greatest chance is the patients that walk through the clinics that we consult in every day. That's the greatest opportunity. Somebody has brought themselves, so you have to affect them with nutrition, the GAND agenda, being the nutritional conscience of the nation. Make sure that I brighten the corner where I am. So the way I talk to my patients, they always want to come back and talk to me, right? And not only me, our team, the teams that I build. So I knew that if I was going to be big, then I have to stop working alone. So I started building teams many years ago. And that is how come from one person or one dietitian at Trust Hospital, we are now a team of 15, right, at the Trust Hospital, because I knew that knowledge is like a baobab tree. Nobody can hold it alone. So that is it. Now, we try to speak one language. We have systems in place. Every team that I work in, there are systems in place that when I advise the patient, another team member advises the patient, the message will be like 70, 80% the same, right? So that is it. Being selfless is one of the things that has helped us to educate more people. But I want to emphasize the point that when people walk to your clinic, it's a good opportunity to affect them positively so that they want to come back. Now, doctors can refer numbers to you, but it depends on you if you are going to be able to keep those numbers.
All right, thank you for sharing. So this is one of our last questions. What is one key message you would like to convey to the members of GAND regarding the impact and potential of their work in improving health and well-being?
Yeah, so thank you. You are not holding a degree that should be looked down upon. You're holding gold in your hands. Whoever sent you to school to study nutrition, paid your fees, has done you a great service. Make sure that it counts. Make sure that it counts. If you say they've not posted me, so you don't have anything doing, you've not gotten employed at a big time hospital, so you think you don't have anything doing, please, you are wasting the opportunities that God has given you. Make sure that you let the degree count. And there's so much you can do in the private, offer education to groups. You can write books, you can write pamphlets, you can do a lot of things. I started my book series with pamphlets. I had a 15-page pamphlet on healthy eating, which I was selling 3 CDs way back, 2009, thereabouts. And through that, it became books that are going for 30 CDs now. So start something. Now, there are so many people in Ghana. I can sell a few thousand copies of my book a year. And there are over nearly 30 million people in Ghana. So there are so many more people who need to buy books and read, right? So make sure that you're also doing something for somebody to affect their lives. Then you can earn income from them. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. So I want to give the opportunity to all the members who are here to send us a few questions. So if they don't like, if you don't mind, Dr. Mr. Letsa, I will just give them a chance to ask a few questions, and then we'll try and
yeah. So you can read out the question in the chat as well.
Yes.
That means a lot of comments and questions.
Yes. There've been a lot of comments saying thank you because you've been very encouraging. And okay, so someone just asked, please, how do I get your book?
Yeah, so you can take down this number. Zero, so 059 566 7197. 059 566 7197. Yeah, thanks for typing it in the chat. Yeah, so you can get in touch through WhatsApp or call. We'll attend to that. But then the books are sold at Kingdom Books. They are our main distributors now. Okay. Kingdom Books, wherever you find them. In Accra, Osu, there are 2 shops also in Osu. You find our books in all of them. You go to Legon, the Legon Bookshop, now run by Kingdom Books. Kingdom Books on the Spinters Road, Kingdom Books in Tema, near Olam. You go to UCC campus, Kingdom Books, KNUST campus, Kingdom Books. You find our books all over the place. They're also on Google Play. So Apple is taking forever to approve our books for App Store. Maybe because I don't use an iPhone, I don't know. But that will not push me. But then it's on Google Play. You can download, just put our key titles, Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases, Be Your Own Dietitian, and Live Long by Eating Well. You can put them on your tablets and your phones from the Google Play as well. And also on the Spinters Road, for example, Bachona Total, books are there as well.
Okay, that's good to know. And okay, I see a question here. Someone is asking, first they said great advice. They said, please, what is your take on preparing for retirement in the profession?
Okay, so that's a good one. One of the best ways to prepare for retirement is to build a business. So when you build a business, even if you are 70 years, you can still be doing business. Maybe you might be weak, you will not be able to be the one to work, but you have employees who will be working for you. So you need your own work if you want to really, really prepare for retirement and prepare well. Now, don't depend on SNITs. Even those of you who are working and you have SNIT deductions, don't put your mind on that. Nowadays, they've made the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, which is our own. So I encourage you to do something like your own tier 3 or investment. You know, investment doesn't have to be big money to make the right impact. So we are talking about retirement. So if you are not employed on a monthly salary, but you're able to do some say here and there and get some money, you can still always keep something small. There are companies that you can invest with towards your retirement. You just sign an agreement that until I'm 60, you don't give me this money. So you put 100 cedis there every month, and then it will keep attracting interest, and it will be growing, right? Now, don't learn to, if you can really, really prepare well for retirement, you don't have to enjoy your income too much, right? Please take care of yourself. Be modest, right? If there are shoes that can cost 2,000 cedis, there are shoes that can cost 300 cedis. They are all shoes. And then sometimes I buy an expensive shoe, I'm expecting that people will pass comments when I wear it. Nobody even says anything. But when I buy a very cheap one, that is when I hear people saying, hey, this your shoe is nice. So this your shoe is nice. So I've decided that, well, once in a while I'll spoil myself, but then I'd rather go for a modest one so that I can have some of the money to invest, put in something that if you have a rainy day, think about a day that no condition is permanent. All these things we are seeing today, opportunity comes but once. So that is how one of the ways I also work. When I get opportunity, I give it my all because I feel that tomorrow it may not be there. So let me do it very well If it's no more there, I've made an impact already, right? So when you get a juicy stuff, maybe somebody invited you to their AGM or something, or a church conference, and you go and they give you some huge money. Don't chew all of them into your stomach. Take 100 cedis or 200 and put somewhere that you're not going to touch for the next 30 years. That is how to prepare for retirement. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So are there any more questions? You can feel free and put them in the chat. I'll read them out to Mr. Letsa. Don't be shy, unless you feel he has told you everything, everything you would want to know. Okay. All right. So I see one more. This is from Daniel. Daniel wants to know, how do you combine your private business and your trust hospital work, looking at the working hours?
Yeah, so I mean, I work with people. So obese dietitian, thanks for your question. Yeah, so it's through my ability to build teams that I can depend on. So when I'm on leave, yes, I can do a lot myself. But then when I have to be at trust, I have to be there. They know me as one of the most hardworking staff at Trust Hospital. And a lot of the work also I do after work and weekends, right? So it doesn't have to be working hours, but still something can be done. So when you really track my life, you realize that time is it's a precious commodity. There's no time to waste on anything else, right? It is work and family and all that. So I'm able to combine the two very well and be very professional at both ends. I've not had any problems from Trust Hospital because of Let's Consult, and I don't carry Let's Consult business to Trust. I don't carry patients from Trust Hospital to Let's Consult and all that. But then using the off hours and then the weekends and all that, and then depending on teams, I'm able to execute both very well.
Okay. All right, great. And then Dell has a question, and they want to know, how about dietitians' contribution to scientific literature? What can we do to promote this among Ghanaian practitioners?
Yeah, we have to start analyzing the data we collect in our clinics. Every day we are taking demographics, we are taking anthropometric data, we are collecting clinical data, we are sending people to the lab. And most of our hospitals now have electronic medical records whereby these figures are keyed in and all that. Where you don't have, you should learn to keep your data in Excel, which is very versatile and can be analyzed. So it is over to us to start writing papers out of the data that we collect at the clinic. Clinical data is so vital because that's information on sick people. And when you are able to make deductions from it, you can really help prevent the diseases or manage them well, right? So at the Trust Hospital, for example, we have our research policy whereby we do research within the hospital from the various clinical units. So this year we have a topic from our diet unit we are working on and all that. We come up with papers and all that. So that to me is the starting point. Let's start analyzing. We all did project work, so the skills for research is there. So we can start applying it at that level. The next level is there has to be more collaboration between us, the practitioners on the grounds, and then our colleagues who are in academia So I've had discussions with some of our colleagues in academia. Dr. Hayford, for example, remember many years ago, we were talking about how we can come together and provide some data, and then you bring your research acumen, and then we come out with some of these papers and collaborations. So that is also something that we have to really promote. Now, I just want to advise our colleagues in academia that they should not look too far when they are looking for data for projects and to analyze. They should begin to look within the hospitals where there are dietitians. So you form your research team, include those on the field as well, so that they can act as people who will bring the data or collect some of the data for you. And I think that's the way that we can use research to improve upon our practice. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Someone wants to know if you could share your email address. So if you wouldn't mind, kindly type it in the chat.
Yes, so you can send emails to Let's Consult. Am I able to chat? I'm trying to.
Yeah, I think you can, but you can tell me if you would like, and I'll type it for you.
Let's consult at gmail.com.
Okay.
LETS consult. Yes, you got it right.
Yes.
The other one is lecturewise at gmail.com.
Okay.
Lecturewise, my name at gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If there aren't any more questions, we would like to take the opportunity to wrap up. Do you have any final words for us?
Yeah, so thank you, Claudia. Thanks for all the difficult questions you asked me. And I thank God I've been able to answer them for you. Yeah. Now, I just want us all to be kind, right? Let's take that. If you've not taken anything, somebody is asking the story behind my Nigerian name. Yeah, maybe I should allow my dad to come and answer this, but he's eating right now. So, but Chukwudi is a Nigerian name, means God exists. I was born in Nigeria. My parents went there for greener pastures. They had me, but then they brought me back when I was only 5 months old. So from February 1983, when I was 5 months old, till date, I've been a Ghanaian boy living and growing at Klepe, at Ko, Accra, and all the other towns that I go to work, right? So I made Chukwudi official. I wrote it in my names because it means God exists. I said, they've given me God's name, and it's not in my official name. So I put it there, and I believe it's doing wonders for me. So thank you on that one. So let me go back to my little advice before we end the call. Yes, I just want to plead with everybody on the call to be kind. If you are kind, God will reward you. So be good, seek the good of others, seek the good of other dietitians. Don't be like somebody must come down for you to climb up. No, if you have the opportunity, act as a ladder for others to climb. And I believe that whatever your heart desires, God will grant them for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and your time, because we understand how things can get very busy. So we really, really appreciate it. I think this was a very good opening to our Spotlight Thursday. So thank you very much for being here. We really and truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I also want to thank everybody who stayed on the call, and also those who have been sending very, very nice messages. I wish I was taking screenshots from my end, and I'll keep all these messages. These are motivating enough, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you all.
Right. Thank you once again. Everyone, have a good evening. Don't forget, you can reach Mr. Letsa on his emails that was shared in the chat. We will probably share it on the page or anything if some more people would want it. All right. So on that note, we're signing off. Goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.